First question about the Cowboys draft for my crew. If you come to a Pluckers like the one we're at here in Plano and get an item and then put on this Bijan Mustardson gourmet Dijon mustard, the Bijan Mustardson, you can see it right here.
That's right.
If you haven't sampled it at a store, they do have some for it. Is this the only Bijan you're getting tonight? Is this the only Bijan you're getting tonight?
I believe so.
Can you guarantee me that?
Yeah, I'm going to guarantee you.
I'm going to lather
Guaranteed?
myself in that Bijan.
I'll tell
I
you
wouldn't
what.
blame you for that.
You know what? Yeah, that might be I might have to try that out. But, to me, it's funny. I was talking to a guy in the league last night. He goes, I go, where do you think that Bijan Robinson goes? He goes, somewhere between 8 and 26.
Okay.
That's
Very precise.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Nobody could really figure out where the player. You always make fun of me because I don't know the floor and the ceiling routine thing.
What is the floor and the ceiling?
Well, the floor would be 26, right?
Okay.
And the ceiling would be 8, right?
Yes, you got it right.
In this scenario, where are the
Look at
carpets
that.
and where are the drapes?
Yeah. What?
And
And
on
do
the
they
walls?
match?
What are you talking about, man?
We're building a
Is this
beautiful
one of those urban
foyer.
legend things? Is he doing this again? Like
Urban
the bow tie?
legend?
Urban legend things he's
No,
doing it.
it's not the
He always does this to me. The bow tie.
He didn't ask you about a blue waffle.
Yeah,
Fine, you're
exactly. He asked me about something. He asked me about some crazy thing, and it's always like, and then I look like a, you know what?
good. You're good, man. We're not talking Blumpkins today.
Okay, no, the thing is, like, nobody could really figure out. Everybody in the league, seriously, all my gang of 7 dudes and gals, they can't figure it out. They're like, hey, we recognize what the player is, but there's a lot of folks out there too that are like,
It's hard to say.
with the running back.
Yeah.
Will you value? Like I talked to a guy about the Giants, and the Giants were saying that if they got completely wiped out, that they would take Gibbs at 25.
Wow,
What?
That is
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gibbs is the
Right.
man.
No, seriously,
What
Idiots,
though?
man.
don't be surprised. Listen, I mean,
Wiped
yeah.
out as in like every single other draft prospect that is available through all 7
the
rounds
wide
becomes
the
unavailable.
wide receivers, the corners. But if they like Gibbs that much,
The ghost
at
of
20,
Gettleman
20,
has
20,
returned.
25.
Yeah, he's
Well,
back.
it's a tough needle to thread because you got to find a team willing to take a running back in the first round. You got to find a team that agrees that Robinson is next generation. You got to find a team that doesn't have other massive needs.
Right.
And then you got to find that same team that is, I can't get that guy in the second or third round. It's a deep running back here.
Atlanta-
That's why I think the ceiling might actually be tomorrow, or the floor might be tomorrow for Bijan.
That'd be crazy, dude. If he's
I
still
don't-
sitting
I-
there in
yeah.
round two.
I'd go show bet. There's no way Bijan doesn't go in the first round.
Oh, I like this between the two of you guys.
No chance that he doesn't go in the
Keeping
first
my
round.
body out of it.
I would
You
need
know
some
the
kind of odds.
You know the Cowboys are going to take him. At
I would
26
need some
this
kind
year.
of
Yeah,
odds.
but come on.
See, but it's funny that we mentioned Atlanta as a team. Atlanta drafted a tight end, top 5 last year, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
sometimes it takes just one.
You're right. And Arthur Smith was the OC with Derrick Henry in Tennessee.
All right. Hey,
Gavin quickly moving on from running back talk. You notice that? Though?
Oh, I
he didn't
love
want
the
to
running
fight
back
you.
talk.
He didn't
Yeah.
want you
It's
fighting
getting
him, Willie
embarrassing
Bully.
for you guys.
He didn't want to fight with you, Willie Bully.
We're
'cause
trying to
you-
brand Woolchuck as a draft expert, and he's
Willie
shooting
Bully,
his own
you've
wheels
done-
off here.
you've done a
Bijan's
great
the only
job.
guy I'm pining for.
Sorry, I thought you were going to hit me right there.
Golly.
Gavin did
You see how that hand came up?
Yeah.
I was like, bro.
That Wooly Bully, he almost had 5 sausage fingers right on that dome.
Putting these Andrews all over.
Gavin went left forearm up
He
to
did.
protect.
He was ready, and I saw
like
that.
And the right was,
That right was ready to come under too.
he was ready
Get
to
you
hit
that
him with
liver shot.
He was
that-
ready to get a little LeBron punch there.
You stay away from my
No,
backs.
Woolchuck is doing a hell of a job with the draft.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody
Sandwich.
says.
Here we go.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
That's why he's going to be on the cover starting tomorrow night.
That's my guy.
We're hearing from Slater the Cowboys hunting a tight end.
Yeah.
They might be going for Laporta. Woolchuck, let's start with you.
Yeah.
What would they like? What would you like about Laporta, and would you like the pick overall?
Well, so I think the pick makes sense. I don't think he's going to make it to 58. It's one of those things where if that's a guy that they really like, they got to go ahead and take him because he's not going to – you're going to get a whole run on tight ends here, I think, in the start of day 2.
Yeah.
So if you want your dude, I think Tucker Kraft probably wouldn't even make it to 58 either.
Well, dang it.
Who I like more than Laporta. I've got him graded higher. What I like about Laporta is his best football is probably ahead of him. He's a great route runner. He can block for you. You know that. He's going to have to block, an inline blocker in the system they want him to run there at Iowa. He did not have any favors to him when it came to their play calling. He's not a guy that we really saw used a whole lot in a bunch of different motions and packages and
that's
lining
right.
up in the slot like we've seen some of the other tight ends like Kincaid, like Musgrave, for instance. But He's got sure hands, and he is capable of working the middle of the field, and he can be a seam threat. He is a guy that can give you a little bit of wiggle after catch.
Not the slowest guy I saw from the 20 seconds of scouting I did on him.
He's faster than Mayer.
Okay.
I tell you what, the thing about, and I think Zach, I think you did a great job of painting the player. The one line I used in my notes was he has that go-to trait. So you see them like drop in. Iowa's offense really non-existent, but they run the ball behind him, and when they needed a play, they throw the ball his direction. So I think that says something about the player.
Yeah, when you look at the athletic score breakdown, you're looking at an undersized guy. He's considered poor from a size standpoint, 6'3", 245. His bench was 16 reps. So he's not strong, he's not big, but his explosive grade is great. His vertical, his broad jump, his 40, his 20-yard split, 10-yard split, all in the elite category. His shuttle is 3-cone, so the agility's all there. Everything other than the size, from an athletic standpoint,
right.
This dude meets all the criteria. He would be 100 out of 1,000 tight ends going back to 1987 in terms of athleticism.
Next draft question for the crew. You know, I'm worried they're not going to make the offensive line better here. I think it's crucial. If you don't make the offensive line better here, I guess they could make a trade for one. But is it true that with Dak, great weapons don't matter that much if you can't give him great protection?
Well, I think I don't know that it has to be great, but I do think it has to be good.
The rollout game, going left, right, mobile. I mean,
if you have a play caller that knows what he's doing, I think you can get away with good. I think Dak has shown that he's a guy that is actually one of the best when it comes to avoiding sacks and still being able to step up and make throws. And metrics reflect that. Dak is one of the better quarterbacks in the sport. Now, obviously, every quarterback needs some semblance of protection, but I don't think Dak needs to have offensive line from the rookie year in order to find success.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do think I would side more with what you're saying there, though, Gavin. I do think it's very important, and I think that it's not just Dak, for instance. It's just basically name a quarterback outside of Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's the only one that we can go to in the last 10 years.
Boy, he took a lot of sacks the first 2 weeks of the season, didn't he?
He sure did.
But yeah, you're not wrong about it. I think if the Cowboys, I think the help for them in the offensive line, Gavin, I would keep an eye on Zavala from North Carolina State. I think that they're probably maybe not a third-round guy, but a fourth-round guy. Bradford. I think those are guys. Steen from Alabama would be a guy that I would kind of see. I think it would be really close to that second-round pick on Bergeron. I really
from
like
Syracuse. I've even seen some saying he could sneak into the first.
Yeah, it would be.
But I'm big on Anthony Bradford, your LSU guy at guard.
I am too.